a place you want to be. That was 20 years ago now since that morning. He wished that his mother's eyes could see, but she's gone and he's still here in London. Ireland again we'll never see. She said, come back pretty soon again to Ireland. Come back pretty soon again to me. For I know the far off fields that you look greener, but Ireland's a place you ought to be.
Macroom and Colchford, and lovely work there, and I think tis a bit sleepy out there, I was told, so they're doing a mighty job. And don't forget, folks, that these ladies are used to dancing in timber, not in concrete, and I guarantee you that's not easy. And fair play to Rita and Deirdre O'Sullivan there of the O'Sullivan School of Dancing. Now we have Roisin National School, and we're doing the music for these guys. And we're told they're going to the county final, the score county final the end of the month, so this is no practice run yet from, so they're fantastic dancers, there's no doubt. Very first great dancing, there's no doubt about it. Do you feel the cold? It's very frozen up here. Just feeling things. Caledonian set, and that's the Coachford gang, is that correct? All the way from Coachford. So give me a big round of applause. So we have the iPad for this one again with that lovely lady here in the back. So Coachford with the Caledonian set. absolutely fantastic. I tell you something, fair play to you for holding the floor so well there, because it's slippy out there and it's normally timber these girls dancing, but by God they can dance in anything as far as I can see. A big round of applause, lads, for all the dancers and for Rita and Deirdre O'Sullivan there doing a wonderful job, and it's great to see such tradition around the town of Macroom, there's no doubt.
The bartender asked me what town that I come from. I said any town in Ireland would be home. Any town in Ireland would be home. A cottage by a river all alone. When I'm sitting on a marsh street in Chicago Sunday morning, any town in Ireland would be home. When you're sitting on a marsh street in Chicago Sunday morning, any town in Ireland would be home.
Good evening everybody, and welcome to the St. Patrick's Day Parade 2014 here in Macroom. This fellow here in front of me in the scooter is Tony Maroney. How are you doing, Tony?
How are you?
And he'll be performing over here in front of the town hall after the parade. Very good magic show. Now would you please welcome into the reviewing area the Town Mayor, Councillor Ted Lucy, and our Grand Marshal for this year, Christina Desmond, who is the World Silver Youth Medalist in the world and also the European Bronze Medalist. Give her a big round of applause on the Mayor, please. Thank you. And John Casey from Macroom Boxing Club as well. Macroom Farm again, over the 70 years, the great service here in Macroom Town and the whole Lee Valley area. Would you give them a big round of applause as well, please, as Macroom Farm. Now the next item from in is the vintage cars, and here first car is a 1947 1Z 8, owned and driven by Tiger Reardon. 1947 1Z 8, owned and driven by Tiger Reardon. The next car in is a 1963 Morris Oxford Estate, driven by Alan Cummins. The next car is a 1977 MG Midget, 1500, owned and driven by Gavin Cummins. 1953 Riley REV, owned and driven by Lark Cummins. Now we have a 1973 Chrysler 180, owned and driven by Michael Brosnan. A 1975 Give me our 1975 WB Beagle, owned and driven by Margaret Buckley. 1971 1300 GT Morris, owned and driven by Tyke O'Connell. 1975 Triumph, owned by Macroom, and here is a 1969 Morris Tangle, owned and driven by Tank. 1964 Ford Crosser, driven by Penny Morgan, Penny McSweeney, and a 1975 Triumph, driven by Oliver Lynch. 1956 Morris Minor, owned and driven by Dave Manny. 1980 Ford Cortina, owned and driven by Dan Keane. 1970 Ford Cortina, owned and driven by P.J. Keane. 1996 Ford and Anglia, that's not that. 1966 Ford Anglia, owned and driven by Liam Murphy. That's 1955 Volkswagen Beagle, driven by Dennis Bradley, and 19 Morris Templar, driven by Liam Walsh. 1976 Woolsey, driven by Paddy O'Riordan. 1981 Toyota Carina, owned and driven by John A. Crowley. 1962 Porsche 356, owned and driven by Brendan Daly. 1966 Woolsey, owned and driven by Brendan Crowley. 1933 Ford model, owned and driven by Tom Griffin. 1959 Ford Dexter, owned and driven by Carl Lucy, and 1933 Ford model, owned and driven by Carl Griffin. 1953 W Beagle, owned and driven by Kevin Moynihan. 1932 Morris 10, owned and driven by Joe Creedon. 24 Mercedes 300D, owned and driven by Stack. 1967 Land Rover, owned and driven by Patrick Cronin. 19 Would you give a round of applause, please, to St. Patrick himself? And we'd like to say a special word of thank you to the Musgrave Vintage Car Club for that excellent display of vintage cars here today in St. Patrick's Day Parade in Macroom. Our next, Declan Lorden is our next entry into the new platform with his steam engine. Declan is always a great supporter of St. Patrick's Day Parade, and I saw there during the week that the first parade was held in Macroom 22 years ago, and Lawrence were here with their steam engine as well on that day. So they're coming up with 22 years. Well done, lads. Well, the Lee Valley Enterprise Board is organisers of the parade would like to sincerely thank the members of Macroom Town Council, who are the main sponsors of the parade here in Macroom, and who have been sponsoring this parade with the last 22 years. So we say a very special thank you to the members of Macroom Town Council for their support of the parade all over the years. We'd also like to remind you that after the parade in the sports complex, there's a fish which will be run by the Ulster School of Dancing. That's just outside the castle gates here. There's a fish starting around 5 o'clock after the parade finishes. First band this evening to come into the reviewing area are the Current Pipe Band under the leadership of Con Houlihan. Your hands together, please, for the Current Pipe Band. Current Pipe Band under the leadership of Con Houlihan. They're also coming here with the last number of years, and we thank you very much indeed for that. Give the Current Pipe Band a bit round of applause, please. Thank you. Right, our next band into the review area are the Bandon and District Point Band, and we'd like to thank Enfin for making sure that, and you note that this band is running a lot of youth. It's great to see the young people involved in getting involved in the Point Band. And leading the band here this evening is Emma O'Leary. Give her a big round of applause. Well done, Emma. Big round of applause please for the Bandon and District White Band. Now the next float in here is the Bandon Cope float, and their annual walk is taking place on Sunday, May the 4th, 2014. They'll be coming into the parade here every year, and fair play, they do great fundraising. They walk from Badona into Macroom and then back up to Bandon. And then their theme this year is how we cope with the hurricane ban. Well done there to the Bandon Cope. Great effort every year. Jackie, I hope there's no real stuff inside there.
Maybe Bowman Bandon are to this. That's what happens when the storm comes. Take to the bed and take to the drink. And tonight
we've been in vintage car coming to the radio about Norrie came on.
far from home.
Do it last. Now next committee we have Nora Casey and Hina Packers, and Nora's running adapted fundraiser on the 28th of March, and this will be an 11-hour marathon coffee morning, and it's starting at 9 AM and finishing at 9 AM and finishing at 10 PM, and Nora's looking for volunteers to help throughout the day, and there's a meeting to be held on Tigilera in Bellamara on Tuesday the 25th of March at 8:30 PM. So anybody would like to volunteer, please come along. Our next band into the building is our own band here from Macroom. That's the St. Coleman's Press Band from St. Coleman's Boys National School in Macroom, under the leadership of Principal Martin Clancy. applause please for St. Bowman's Boys National Band. And let's get us in with a band of our own here in Macroom.
Right.
Thanks, Martin.
1, 2, 3.
Our next group in are the Macroom Boy Scouts.
2, 3.
And the Boy Scouts are also doing great work here in Macroom. Taking care of all these young lads here. They're over 50 years here in Macroom and they're doing great work all over those years. And their team this year is working on the fish. It's a fabulous floor too. Give a big round of applause, please. That's the Macroom Boy Scouts. Is this the clubhouse from Disneyland I see coming? We have Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. But who? Buzz Lightyear, Woody, Roger Rabbit, and Teddy Bear. The characters inside of these costumes, ladies and gentlemen, are from the Brownie Gap Youth Theatre in Macroom. They're from the Brownie Gap Youth Theatre in Macroom, and on next Friday and Saturday night, they have a show in the Brownie Gap called The Rhythm of Youth. There's about 35 of these youngsters involved in this youth theatre, and it's a fabulous idea. And as I say, we ask you to support the show on next Friday and Saturday night in the Brownie Gap Theatre, and it's called The Rhythm of Youth. Now we have the Sullivan School of Dancing and our next group in, the Sullivan School of Irish Dancing. Rita and Deirdre Sullivan, and they're here every year with us, and they have a fabulous amount of kids here dancing in this year. We'd also like to thank Mary's Toymaster, who is sponsoring all the small national flags here today. That's Mary's Toymaster, Macroom and Ballincollig, who are sponsoring all the national flags here today. Big round of applause to the Sullivan School of Irish Dancing, and the fesh, as I said, will take place in the sports complex after the parade, around 5 o'clock in the sports complex. Now we have the West Musgrave Athletic Club here with us, who are also doing great work here in the Musgrave region to promote athletics. They're training on Monday and Friday nights. Yeah. 7:30 on Monday and Friday nights they train over the town park, and they're catering from all ages, and the activities are done through fun and games, and you can find out further information on www.westmusgraveac.com. That's the West Musgrave Athletic Club. Now we have here the Taekwondo Macroom Club. Taekwondo! All right, lads and gals. Well done. The trainer wins in the leisure centre, and they're under the instructor. That's John Buck, isn't it? John? Yeah. Was actually 30 black belt, and they train in the leisure centre. And for further information, you can contact John 086 810 5806. So we have the Macroom district cattle guys and their leaders. There are 40 groups in here. There's the Orlan Ladybirds unit, and they're catering for ages from 5 to 7, and they meet on Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m. The Orlan Brownies cater for ages from 7 to 11, and they meet in Macroom on a Thursday night. I have an audio Patrick. St. Olan's Brownies, they meet in Royal Isle School Hall on a Monday night at 6:30 p.m. The Orlan Guides was member range from the ages of 11 to 15, meet on Friday nights, and McEgan Rangers, they have a senior group in the district. They have members up to the age of 21 years of age. So well done to the Macroom District Cattle Guides and their leaders. Thank you very much indeed for taking part. This time we have the Ballingeary Pipe Band. One of our own bands here in the Valley. And we'd like to welcome you back in the lads to the parade. Gary Hurley there on the big bass drum. applause of please for Ballingerry Piper. Thanks again, lads. It's great to have you back again this year. Our next opponent is the Macroom Juvenile Club and the Macroom Ladies Football Club. Macroom Ladies Football Club and Macroom Juvenile GA Club, and all these groups are training in the Castle Grounds in Tompkins Park during the weeks. They will check the website www.macroomj.ie and find out all the train times up there. We'd like also to welcome all the coaches there in the back. What a good job you're doing. I would also like to thank the sponsors of the GA Club. The Juvenile Club. Now over here we have Clancy's Fresh Fish, 2 fish fingers. It's Clancy's Fresh Fish, 2 fish fingers, that's it. I know they kind of mackerel. Now here we have our friends all the way from Wales. Under our music director, Arian Holmes. Thank you very much indeed. Arvin, how are you? I know you were, Arvin, I know you remember the women bringing up the flowers. Thank you. Thanks, Arvin. Give a big round of applause again, our friends from Wales. Thanks very much, thanks for being here. Thanks very much. Now we have the Kilmurray Museum and Cultural Centre. Now,